What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JP's on the keys, and there's two easy on the video today. And I've been looking at the comments, and everybody and their grandmama has requested me to do Epic History. Epic History TV. Check out their channel. Definitely will leave a link in the description. They have an entire playlist on World War One. You know what? I thought to myself, content. Okay, well, let's go. This is so I guess they split it up in episodes based on every different year of World War One. So hey, we are gonna dive deep into this. You know what I'm saying? Get your seatbelts on, get strap yourselves in, get your snacks, get your reaction watching snacks. I know you have your favorite snack. You know what I'm saying? Get your water, whatever you drink. You should be drinking water. let me stop. But anyway, Epic History of World War One. 1914. Before we get to this, be sure to leave a like. Definitely leave a like. You know what I'm saying? And also hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you're watching me and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? But anyway, let's just get to this. Goes to war.
1914. The great powers of Europe are divided in...
Okay, yep, this man has the ultimate documentary voice. Yep, he has that. Yep, They got the documentary. He got the documentary voice with like the drums coming in, just like the building drums. Yep, Yeah, we're lit. This is lit. This is gonna be lit.
...to two rival alliances. The Triple Entente. France, Britain, and Russia, united by fear and suspicion of Germany, Europe's new strongest power. And the Triple Alliance, Germany, which fears encirclement by its rivals, Austro-Hungary, clinging on to a fragile empire, and Italy, seeking gains at French expense. The spark comes on the 28th of June in the city of Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is assassinated by a 19-year-old Slav nationalist named Gavrilo Princip.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I remember I saw like he was just riding around in his car with the top off, and then the dude he got killed by the dude, and that basically sets off everything. Because then Austria-Hungary, Slav. Hold on, wait. Because then Austria-Hungary's government goes into a whole frenzy, and then it's just everything just boom, it just explodes from there.
Austro-Hungary accuses its Balkan rival Serbia of having aided the assassin and sends an ultimatum demanding humiliating concessions. Serbia rejects the ultimatum, and Austro-Hungary declares war. Within hours, Austrian forces are shelling Belgrade.
Whoa! So, of course, I understand the assassination of a prominent government official is a very serious offense. But is it enough to spark a war? Is it? I feel like it is. Definitely, I feel like it is. To be honest, I feel like it is. But just the fact that, like, within 5 days, they were already bombing Serbia. They didn't play no games. Austro-Hungary, they didn't play no games. Oh my, they bad business.
The Russian Tsar, Nicholas II, feels honor-bound to defend Serbia, a fellow Slav nation, and orders the Russian army to mobilize. German Emperor Wilhelm II has promised his support to Austro-Hungary. He and his generals see conflict with Russia as inevitable, and the sooner the better, as Russian strength grows year on year. Russian mobilization is used to justify German mobilization, followed by a declaration of war on Russia. Germany knows war with Russia means war with Russia's ally, France. It has developed the Schlieffen Plan to...
So Germany basically joined the war because Russia was going to attack Serbia. Was going to defend Serbia, which is fighting against Austro-Hungary, and Austro-Hungary is an ally to Germany. So I guess this is, we declare war on you because you declare war on our ally. So just indirectly, just see, so it's all like a domino effect that leads to one country does this, then another country does this. It's like a cause and effect kind of.
Meet this threat of a war on two fronts. First, its armies will advance rapidly through neutral Belgium to encircle and destroy French armies near Paris and win a quick victory. Then its forces can move east to deal with Russia, whose
What did France do? That's how I understand that the fact that Russia has allies, but what does France even have to do at this point? France didn't do anything. They just say we're just going to attack you just because you're guilty by association.
whose huge army will take much longer to mobilize. And so Germany declares war on France. 6 million men are now marching to war across Europe. Italy, however, remains neutral. The terms of the Triple Alliance don't bind it to join an offensive war. The United States also declares its neutrality. President Wilson and the American public have no desire to get entangled in Europe's war. Britain is France's ally, but at first it's not clear if it will join the war against Germany. But when German troops invade Belgium, whose neutrality Britain has guaranteed, an ultimatum is sent from London to Berlin, demanding they withdraw. It's ignored, and Britain declares war. A British expeditionary force lands in France, while the German invasion is held up for crucial days by Belgian resistance at the fortress city of Liège. German troops commit several massacres against Belgian civilians. The atrocities are inflated by Allied propaganda and help turn public opinion in neutral countries against Germany. France, unaware of Germany's great
To me, I feel like although Germany was definitely definitely a country that didn't mind killing civilians, I felt like Germany really got the short end of the stick because I feel like everybody was against Germany at this point. Like Germany was just like public enemy number one. And everything was trying to make Germany turn out to be this really horrible, this horrible country that doesn't care about anybody. They were just making it bigger than what they seemed. I mean, obviously this would hold true with the next dictator, but I'm just saying, like, people really worked hard to paint Germany as this evil nation that just stomped and killed everybody. But I feel like I feel like it's unfair. Like, I definitely read a comment. They're saying that that some of these videos, some of these countries were like really treated Germany unfairly. I can see that though. I can see how you would say that because definitely it was not a lot of Germany did not have a lot of friends at all. Like everyone hated Germany.
Encircling attack launches Plan 17, an offensive into German territory. But in the Battle of the Frontiers, they're driven back with enormous losses on both sides. The British Expeditionary Force clashes with the German army at Mons, but the British are heavily outnumbered and soon join the French in retreat. The Allies make their stand at the River Marne, 40 miles outside Paris. Their desperate counterattack saves the city and drives the Germans back. Both sides suffer 250,000 casualties. The race to the sea begins as both sides try to outflank each other to the north. A series of clashes leads to the First Battle of Ypres, where the Allies desperately cling on and prevent a German breakthrough. There are more heavy losses on both sides. The two armies then dig in along the entire 350-mile front, seeking shelter from deadly machine gun fire and artillery shells. Trench warfare has begun.
I couldn't do that. That's
British warships win the first naval battle of the war at Heligoland Bight, sinking 3 German cruisers. Britain has the most powerful navy in the world, 29 modern battleships to Germany's 19. They now impose a naval blockade on Germany, preventing contraband goods, including food, from reaching it by sea. The aim is to bring Germany's economy to its knees and force it to surrender.
I mean, I can understand how how a lot of these European countries have good navies because they're all so close together. You know what I mean? Because like Britain is like an island basically. So obviously the navy would be very important because it's surrounded by water. So, but like a country like the U.S., obviously the navy you got to travel thousands of miles to go to your enemy. Most likely is going to be all the way on the western hemisphere of the eastern hemisphere of the world. So that's a couple thousand miles. So obviously you know what I mean. The navy wouldn't be as big as a priority as other like facets of your military.
But a week later, the British cruiser HMS Pathfinder becomes the first victim in history of a lethal new weapon, the submarine-launched torpedo. German submarines, or U-boats, have a surface range of 9,000 miles and can attack undetected from beneath the waves. They herald a deadly new challenge to Britain's command of the seas.
Just think about that technology in 1914. Like they developed that in 1914, and just the advancement that has happened now. They still had boats that could go. They invented submarines in 1914. Like wow, like technological advancement was very crazy back then. Definitely. Wasn't the machine gun invent? I think the machine gun was invented around this time too, around the early 1900s. Like the machine gun was invented. Like I think the Thompson was the first really like real machine gun. That and like the Gatling gun, you know.
On the Eastern Front, Russian armies invade East Prussia, but they blunder into disaster at the Battle of Tannenberg, where General von Hindenburg and his chief of staff, Erich Ludendorff, mastermind a brilliant German victory, taking 90,000 prisoners and destroying an entire Russian army. The Russians contribute to their own defeat by transmitting uncoded wireless messages. A second massive German victory at Masurian Lakes forces the Russians into retreat. In just 6 weeks, the Russian army suffers nearly 1/3 casualties. Meanwhile, Austro-Hungary's invasion of Serbia suffers a humiliating reverse at the Battle of Tser. Austro-Hungary's offensive against Russia also ends in disaster and retreat, with the loss of more than 300,000 men. The fortress town of Przemysl is cut off and besieged by the Russians. The Germans are forced to come to the rescue, launching a diversionary attack towards Warsaw. It leads to weeks of brutal winter fighting around the Polish city of Łódź, but there is no clear winner. Meanwhile, the Turkish Ottoman Empire has joined the Central Powers, declaring war on its old enemy, Russia. Turkish warships bombard the Russian ports of Odessa and Sevastopol, while in the Caucasus, Russian troops cross the Turkish frontier.
I don't know why I tricked myself into thinking that Turkey wasn't part of the Ottoman Empire. I don't know why. Like I always said to myself, like, I know Ottoman Empire had something to do with Turkey. I know that, but I always thought I don't know why I just really thought I was really wrong, and I was just like, nah, I was just stupid on that. But now we know. Okay.
Beyond Europe, the war rages on the world's oceans and in far-flung European colonies. German troops cross into British East Africa, modern Kenya, and occupy Taveta, while Allied forces seize the German colony of Togoland, modern Togo. But British forces invading German Cameroon are defeated at Garoua and Nsangakong, while a 3,000-strong force attacking German Southwest Africa, modern Namibia, is captured at Sanfontaine. A month later, British landings at Tanga end in chaos and defeat at the hands of a much smaller German force led by Colonel von Letter.
Look at all that land that was owned by British and German countries. Oh my God, British this, German that, Belgian this. Oh wow! Then just seeing all the wars that were fought in Africa, especially all the independence wars that were fought in Africa in the 20th century, was ridiculous. Like, a lot of these countries are still fighting for their independence today. Like, you have to really think about that. You have a lot of African countries that are still fighting for independence to this day. To this day. Like, Cameroon. Like, in Cameroon, there's a divide between the French-speaking part and the English-speaking part. Like, it's a lot of tension in Africa. It's just like, I just pray for one day that it's just like they can all coexist. You know what I mean? Because now that a lot of countries have found their independence, now they have to learn to coexist with each other.
Lettow-Vorbeck. Cut off from Germany, Lettow-Vorbeck goes on to wage a highly successful guerrilla war against the Allies, tying down huge numbers of troops. In Asia, Japan honors its treaty with Britain and declares war on Germany. Japanese forces go on to seize the German naval base at Tsingtao. The German colonies of Samoa and New Guinea surrender to troops from New Zealand and Australia.
Dang, German influence all the way to New Guinea and Samoa. What? Jeez. Like, I'm not gonna. I didn't know that Germans had captured this much land. Like, you go all the way to darn near Australia, New Zealand, like Indonesia is right there. So like these are wow. British India, like wow, like all these countries are occupied by Europeans. Like,
but in the Pacific, off the coast of Chile, German Admiral von Spee's powerful East Asia squadron sinks 2 British cruisers at the Battle of Coronel. Both ships are lost with all hands. 5 weeks later, he runs into a British naval task force at the Falkland Islands. 4 of the 5 German cruisers are sunk. Von Spee goes down with his flagship. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, British troops seize control of the Ottoman port of Basra, securing access to the vital Persian oil that fuels the British fleet.
So fighting's going on basically everywhere except North America. Wow, what a sight.
That winter, Austrian troops finally capture Belgrade. But the Serbs then counterattack and drive them back once more. The fighting in Serbia has already cost around 200,000 casualties on each side. In the North Sea, German warships mount a hit-and-run raid against English coastal towns, shelling Hartlepool, Whitby and Scarborough, and killing more than 100 civilians. On the Western Front, the French launch their first major offensive against the German lines. But the First Battle of Champagne leads to small gains at a cost of 90,000 casualties. While in the Caucasus, an Ottoman offensive through the mountains in midwinter ends in disaster at Sarikamish. Turkish casualties total 60,000, many frozen to death. On the Western Front, that first Christmas is marked in some sectors by a short truce and games of football in no man's land, the killing zone between the trenches.
I know I've been paused a lot, but just think about that. You just got busy, you just got done shooting at this guy You just got done shooting at this guy like 2 days ago, and now here you are playing football in the zone where in between the trenches, the no man. You out here playing football, and then you got to go back, and then we got to shoot the same dude again. Imagine if they actually got cool with each other and developed friendships during this time, and now that we're on opposite sides, now you're my enemy, and now I have to kill you. Like, just like that alone is ridiculous in itself. Okay, so that is episode 1. That is year 1, 1914. Okay, definitely. So what I'm getting is, so basically, war started when Franz Ferdinand, Austrian, I think he was like not like an emperor, but he was a very high-ranking government official in Austria. He was assassinated, and then Austria blamed Serbia, and then Russia, Soviet Union, is failed. They need to protect Serbia, and then since they declare war on Serbia, Germany they don't declare war. Russia declares war on Austro-Hungary in defense of Serbia. So now Germany declares war on Russia because Russia is immobilizing their troops, and then Germany goes into Belgium to go into France, and then Britain tells Germany, oh, if you don't move your troops out of Belgium, we're going to declare war. So Germany doesn't care, so they declare war, and then then the Ottoman Empire gets involved, and then West African countries, Japan gets involved, and then we got war all the way on South America. So at this point, America is doing a good job not getting involved. I can't say the same about that now, but they're doing a good job of staying neutral. That's the thing. If we had stayed neutral on a lot of things, like especially in the Vietnam War, we should have never even joined that war. What we had no. I mean, obviously, communism. Obviously, during this time, Cold War is raging. Communism is like taboo at this point. Like if you mention communism, that communism is like a curse word. At that like during this time, like so obviously the fear of communism spreading. But at this point, you have to. Do you think the communism was going to spread all the way to America? Like. You could have just let them do that over there and just mind your business here, because you remember we have a whole country that you know what I'm saying, and we just going through civil rights. We just going through civil rights, like heavy, like racial tensions are still high. Like the country's going through some hippie movement, peace and love, marijuana, LSD, all the hippie movement, the Beatles, all that. Like, this is a really weird cultural shift in the United States in the 60s. So there was no need for us to even get involved in that war, to be honest. But anyway, we will continue to do these. Definitely, we will definitely continue to do these along with the other war-related videos that I'm doing. Definitely enjoy watching these. I definitely appreciate all of the new subscribers, all of the new people that come and watch my channel. I definitely appreciate all of you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely leave a like. Definitely leave a like if you are new and you are not subscribed right now. You definitely need to hit that subscribe button because we upload every day, bro. We upload every day. I might take one day off during the week, and that's only because I have schoolwork. I still got schoolwork to do. That's the only reason I don't. That's the only reason why I wouldn't upload, because I have schoolwork to do. But thank you for watching. Like I said before, leave a like. If you're brand new, please subscribe. Definitely share the video wherever your videos at. Turn on my post notification bell so you know, because sometimes the YouTube sub box system don't work. So definitely hit that bell so you know, so that you get the actual notification when I upload. But anyway, thanks again. Please be safe during this quarantine. Please be safe. Have a great day. Please stay on the grind. I'm out. Peace.